They had the very first artist to ever get a major deal, Gangsta Pat, on his label. Reginald boyland in the building.
Yeah, how you doing?
Yeah, I'm good, man. How about yourself?
Everything's good, man. Everything's good. I appreciate you inviting me on your segment, man.
I appreciate you giving me the time, man. It's real legendary. You know, the first person that ever had the vision. And that's the first question I want to ask you. Like, what made you have the vision? What made you say, man, I'm going to start a hip-hop label when there wasn't no hip-hop labels around?
Well, I started, I guess, as a child and, being in school, man, working with Xavier. And then my little man, Anthony Collier, man, he had GTG. That was Good to Go, a label. And he was dealing with the West Coast boys, was Eazy-E. And I kind of picked up from there, man, because I was cool and supportive with him. And what happened, his demise, somebody murdered him in Memphis, man. So me and Pat linked up and, I formed the label, reincorporated it, called On the Strength, which was OTS. And we went from there, man. Pat had about 5 or 6 songs ready. And I got the other songs ready. We took it to Cotton Row Studio with Nico Lives. Helped out a lot and really used to help me on contracts. But anyway, we finished the album and went to Joy Boy. Went from Joy Boy, went to Atlantic Records, man. That was one of the things.
Okay, so Atlantic Records was the first people to give Gangsta Pat a deal?
Nah. First person we got a deal was Joy Boy Records out of Miami.
Oh, okay.
They was doing bass music. They had MC Shy-D, Success in Effect, so we flew down there. We knew Rod Kennedy. He was a promoter and also did radio for Joy Boy Records, and we went there and did a deal with them. And me being young, man, I had a management agreement, and I really didn't have a full recording agreement with Pat, and they was able to kind of manipulate my contract. You really make no money on that, man. They got 75 grand for the master with Atlantic Records, because I did contact the people and put them on notice,
Okay.
but didn't really have the grounds to really move like I wanted, because the contract I got tailored, you understand, didn't hold water, man.
Yeah.
And I got that through a criminal attorney, which was AC at that time. That's the difference with having a music attorney and a criminal attorney,
right.
And an attorney, period. So I'm going to tell you that they know law, but a lot of them don't,
So I want to ask you, what made you what you see in Gangsta Pat that made you want to sign?
Well, I like the Pat music, man. Tone used to let me hear that Shooting on Knots on the Gangster, and I just knew when I heard Pat, man, he was talented. And when I met him and found out that he plays instruments, that was, amazing to me too. And then his father is a well-known producer with Stax, which is Willie Hall. I had to talk to him. So Pat was already like a prodigy anyway,
Okay.
man. You know what I'm saying? Really.
Makes sense.
Yeah, and when the album took off, and it went from there, man. I got him on the Too Short show. The promoter called me. There was a lot of things going on. But when you working at Memphis, man, you still dealing with a lot of adversity, and then you got people that's trying to hold you back. You know what I mean? Yeah. So there's a lot of me dealing with that too.
So you were the first label to sign A-Ball and MJG to a record?
Yeah, I was the first label to put A-Ball and MJG together, bro.
How you meet them?
I had Ball first. A friend of mine named Roy Jackson brought A-Ball to the studio. And he used to work at this burger joint, Central Park, on Getwell back in the day. And
right.
He was happy to be in. They knew about Gangsta Pat and stuff. And actually, Pat helped work with him, taught him how to program the Lisa's drum machine. And then they worked on a song together. So Pat was kind of a little instrumental in trying to develop all of them. But then, he kind of went on, to the other side when after, the little rip. And then I went to working on 8-Ball and them stuff, We did Listen to the Lyrics, did that song. He called MJG down. There was a rap, schoolmate. They had a group called DOA, which it was Dead on Arrival. But when I heard the way MJG and his style was, I said, dude was unique and very crafty with his words. So I said, we're going to do 8-Ball and MJG. Now
so
we gave 8-Ball.
So you the first one to put them together as a group?
Yeah, man, yeah. We got 8-Ball. Tell you how that happened. When we got 8-Ball.